that I'm reading from is by John Shea, who is just a wonderful storyteller as well as theologian. This book actually is part of lectionary commentaries, which I don't normally read from, but again, he's more of a storyteller than he is somebody who analyzes, I suppose, the scripture. And he has this to say. He begins by saying, I've been told of a tombstone that simply reads, it's always something. And he goes on to talk about this, it's always something, and looking for spiritual help in the face of it's always something. He says, but what exactly is spiritual help? Although we tell ourselves it won't happen, sometimes we hope against hope and expect divine intervention. This does not have to be an angelic revelation or even a full-blown theophany. Who knows what a theophany is? Theo is God. And ophany is sort of like an epiphany. It's an appearance. So a theophany is an appearance of God. Okay? And you learn something new, you can all go home. So it can be a behind-the-scenes manipulation of events. When things suddenly shift and go in our favor, we have no problem saying, thank God. Sometimes it's just a religious knee-jerk reaction, but other times it's a genuine conviction that the great puppeteer was at work. Spiritual help is construed as an outside agent changing the outer flow of events. As long as we feel helpless in the face of it's always something, we will seek greater powers to get things done. However, spiritual help may not be directly about problem solving, about effectively engaging it's always something. It may be directly about restoring a foundational disconnect. We are always out of touch with our souls to some degree. Spiritual help reestablishes this connection. Once we are situated more fully in the home of our soul, we can engage it's always something with more thorough comprehension and more sustained will.
The scripture this morning is from Psalm 130. Out of the depths I cry to you, Yahweh, God. Hear my voice. Let your ears be attentive to my voice, my cries for mercy. If you kept track of our sins, Yahweh, who could stand before you? But with you is forgiveness, and for this we revered you. So I wait for you, Yahweh. My soul waits, and in your word I place my trust. My soul longs for you, Yahweh, more than sentinels long for the dawn, more than sentinels long for the dawn. Israel, put your hope in Yahweh, for with Yahweh is abundant love and the fullness of deliverance. God will deliver Israel from all its failings.
Would you pray with me? Divine One, we gather constantly seeking to learn more, to grow more, to be more grounded as we walk through life, to be more peaceful, more light, more love, and more compassionate. Be with us, help us to learn and grow this morning. May the words of my mouth, the meditations of each of our hearts, be filled with your wisdom and your insight. Amen. So it's true, isn't it? It's always something. Think about your last week, your last month, your last couple months. Just for fun, let's throw out our it's always somethings onto the floor. What's thrown you for a loop? What's gotten in the way of your plans? What's been a right turn when you were ready to go left?
Too much rain.
Too much rain. Oh, sure, as a roofer, that would mess you up, wouldn't it? It's always something. What else?
Moving again.
Moving again. That'll do it.
Summer's ending.
Summer's ending. And all of the fun that comes with that. The back to school, the getting ready. Financial hits. Little identity theft will just throw you a moment. Our kids, the things that go on with our kids. My daughter's health issues have been a challenge. What else?
Aging parents.
Aging parents. Sometimes some of us getting stuck in that sandwich place. Some of us have had people pass away in the last couple months. How about car issues? Anybody have car issues? Your car died? You have something go wrong with your car? Yeah, that'll mess you up too. The dog, think you're gonna do something great, and then the dog rolls in something, and you're out on the walk, and then you gotta go home and watch the dog instead of doing what you're supposed to be doing. After you tore the bunny out of their mouth that they caught. It's always something. That's what the bunny, no, the bunny wasn't saying anything. And sometimes it's little things like that. I didn't count on the 20 minutes it was going to take me to watch the dog, and sometimes it's my second mom calling and saying, "Oh, I'm in the hospital. I went in 3 days ago. Thanks for telling me." It's always something. And when those always somethings happen, we marshal our resources, right? We're like, okay, I got this, being the independent sort that we all are in this community. Like, I got this. I can marshal my financial resources and my emotional resources, my personal resources. I am an independent person and I can handle this. And when I can't handle this, I call on my friends and my family and people who understand me and can, lift me up and lend a hand or take the dog out or whatever needs to happen. And then you have those times when those something just add up so that you eventually get worn out and run out and worn down and exhausted, dried up, and there's not a whole lot left. And then perhaps it becomes sort of like the psalmist this morning, where that poor psalmist is just out of the depths. God, I am calling out to you. I am at the bottom of the pit. I have nothing left. Help me. And we get to those points where all of our own resources don't do it anymore. And if we haven't up to this point, we start hoping and praying for divine intervention, for something to happen. God, after all, I spend at least an hour every Sunday morning devoted to you. Could you step up and help me out of this? And John Shea says, is that really what we're expecting? We come to the end of our own resources, and sure, we look for something greater than ourselves to help us out of this, but are we expecting angels to appear? Are we expecting a theophany, an appearance of the divine? Well, no, probably not. We're probably not really expecting that. But, if somehow, behind the scenes, a little quiet manipulation in our lives by the great puppeteer happens to happen, and suddenly things start going better. Well, sure, we're all for that, even if we don't really believe that Geppetto's up in the sky pulling the strings. It'd be great if an outside force could just step up and make it all perfect. And John Shea pushes us a little bit further and says, but what if that's not what spiritual help is about? What if spiritual help is really about shoring us up? Or like I did with the kids, bringing us back to our bright, shiny selves, so that we can find the strength and the courage within to get through about restoring our souls, simply reconnecting us to our foundation, to the ground of our being, to the water of life, so that we've got what it takes to get through. I think if that's the case, then it requires a shift in spiritual consciousness. A shift in consciousness that takes us from focusing on the doing and all of the worries and concerns and the stress around the doing and that outward, I can fix it. I don't know about any of you, but part of me is really a fix it. I'm going to fix it and make it all better. But when we focus outward, we get exhausted. Maybe the shift in spiritual consciousness needs to bring us back inside, where we focus more on being able to do. Where we focus on the fact that I have a bright, shiny self that is strong, that is confident, that is intelligent, that has courage, that's willing to risk, that's gotten through everything else to my life at this point. Why won't I get through the next thing? To focus on that, where the divine dwells in union, in oneness with us, and we touch that deep well of love and strength that's there, so we are able to do whatever life throws at us. Did that make sense? We tend to forget that that's in there, and so we get so exhausted putting all our energy out here that we don't dig in and draw from the, dare I say, the eternal energy, the life energy that springs within. So let me tell you a story. John Shea shares this story. It's about a woman named Shelley, who has sort of this shift in conscious thought. Shelley's mom had a stroke. And it became apparent that it was going to take a really long rehab to get her mother well and able to go back to her own home. And so Shelley agreed to have her come live with her for a while. And Shelley thought, this will be really good. My mom gave me so much over the years. This is like payback. I can pay her back for everything she's ever done for me. And you know what? At the same time, I can help fix a few things with her. Help her get clear about a few things, like her thinking. We'll just fix things, right, Tim? And it'll be good, and we'll all be happy at the end of the day, and everything's going to be wonderful. Well, the big challenge was that Shelley and her mom fought like mothers and daughters only can fight. And her mom was a great fighter, from the old school of, I love a good fight. And, the kind she said her mom would get like that ecstatic sort of look in her eyes, like, oh, this is a really good fight. I really got you now. Maybe exaggerating a little, but that's how Shelley felt, anyways. That her mom really got into this fighting thing. And Shelley was like, no, don't like conflict. Don't want to fight. But it got bad. And one day, it completely blew up over a hard-boiled egg. And it went from the hard-boiled egg to screaming and shouting about how things had gotten the way they'd gotten and what her mother was doing there. And we all know that it was all because they were worn out, irritated, and frustrated, right? And that one little hard-boiled egg tipped it over the edge. But now it was all about, well, what are you doing here? And why has this gone downhill so bad? And why is everybody short-tempered and worn out? And then her mom just stopped. And her mom said, why do you have me here anyway? And that just brought Shelley up short for a second. And then she had her list of things. Well, this is what good daughters are supposed to do, and I want to take care of you because you took care of me and you're getting old, and I need to help you to get better so that you can go home. And, she went on and on and on until she finally wore herself out. And then her mother looked at her and said, junk. Junk! Yep. Junk. She said, we love each other. That's enough. That's all we need. And Shelley thought about it, thought, that's truth. She said, you're right. You're right, Mom. I'm sorry. Mom said, you don't need to be sorry. Junk's okay. It's the stuff you don't need anymore. I said, I love you. And that was pretty much the end of the fighting. Things got better from there. They got easier. There was less pressure. There was less trying. There was more just allowing things to happen. But all of that stuff that we allow to pile up on our bright, shiny selves that we don't need, all that junk that keeps us from drawing on the strength of love that's within us, requires a shift of consciousness to get back to it. You've all done spring cleaning. You've all cleaned your closets, right? And how do you feel after you've cleaned your closets? You feel pretty good. Like your soul's been restored. Like you've got room to breathe. Like you've accomplished something. Like you've cleared out stuff you don't need anymore. And life is brighter and roomier and good. I could pray forever that God would come clean out my closet. And it's not going to happen. I've got to be the one to weed through all the stuff I don't need anymore and let it go. To feel restored and rejuvenated and renewed. But we let all of that pile up. I think about my oldest son, Jordan, who's 25 now. And thankfully he never watches these things or reads my sermon or goes to church, because then I can talk about him. But he's really stressed out right now. He's heading back to school. He's got a year and a half left at Parkside. He's been working full-time at Best Buy. He's trying, he's the one who had car troubles. All of a sudden the car was overheating and we didn't know why. And it's always something. And he was getting overwhelmed with these always somethings. And I could just feel and sense the tension in him. And he's like, it'll be fine as soon as Tuesday happens and I'm back to school. Because then he'll be past all of this worrying and hamster wheel that's going in his head that we tend to do. The junk that we put over our bright, shiny selves. He's so worried about all the doing that he's forgotten that he has the strength and the ability and the confidence and the courage to do what he needs to do. He's caught up in all of that other stuff and is almost to the point of crying out, help! I'm at the bottom of the pit and I'm scared and I'm alone. And I finally looked at him and I said, Jordan, what's the worst that could happen? I said, you have a family who loves you. We're not going to let you be on the streets. We're not going to let you go hungry. You're not going to be left without a car. We got extras we can loan you. Get back to yourself and know that you can get through whatever you need to get through. The end of the line of the psalm is basically the psalmist saying, but don't get me wrong, God. I'm scared and I'm worried, but I also trust. Trust in the goodness of your love. Trust that all will be well. Trust that I will get through. But today I offer to you all of this. That sometimes we gotta toss the junk, the stories that go in our heads. Toss it so that our souls can be restored. Toss it so we can see our bright, shiny selves. Toss it so we're in touch again with the divine connection that brings us light, and life, and comfort, and strength, and courage. Amen.